Hi, good happy Saturday evening to all of you and welcome. And I'm here with my very special guest who I adore working with whenever we can fit it in, Irish Granny, aka Helen.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm busy trying to catch all my falling cards here. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yes, I see Mary's Spirit says that she just discovered some of what you do and she seems incredible and you are incredible. So
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. You're taking on the daunting job of doing a live. I just obey. Just tell me what to do. I'm so impressed.
But Irish Granny sounds like she's like 16 years old.
She's 16? Okay. My husband said, don't tell anybody, but you sound 16.
I'm just a tad more mature than that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So, welcome, everybody. All right. So let's just say hi to a few folks. We have Mary Spirit, Suzanne Grisby, Tropical Empress. And thank you, by the way, Tropical Empress, for being one of my new subscribers. I'm so happy to have you. Thank you. Tim Blackvale, Samantha, Rossi, Juanita's Review, Tiffany's Tisdale is here, Teresa Hadarian, Juanita. Oh, I said Juanita. Nancy, Diane, Ness. Yes, I am wearing the same dress as earlier, but I have gone in the hot tub and then come back to it. So hello, Carolyn and Peter. Hello, Linda. Hello, Julie. And hello, Ramon. Thank you all for being here. Wow, we got 30 people here just like that.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, just so no one thinks I'm being rude, I can't see the comments.
Right.
Because if I see the comments, then I can't talk to Aley. My brain doesn't, I can't.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'll make a confession, Aley. I don't know exactly why, the dress is an issue, but there are days when I record 3 or 4 videos all on the same day, so I don't have to put on makeup and look normal. No, it's usually because I work, and it's as you do, and it's usually because I have other obligations, but I don't want to deprive my channel, right? So what I do is I change sweaters or put on a different necklace, and nobody knows the difference.
There you go. You can put a wig on too if you wanted to. I have a couple of fake ones in the back room that you could throw on a brown one or a red one or any type of wig. It
might be a little shocking, overnight. Suddenly I have a head of hair.
A whole head of hair. I know it. So hi, 3 Shifting Veils and Vicky Howell and Linda Bishop. It's hot as a sauna in Texas. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I can't imagine.
That you are in somewhere cool because it's looking like it's going to stay that way. Yeah.
Hey, listen, count your lucky stars. You're not in Mecca on a Hajj right now because you'd probably be dead. Did you hear about that?
I have.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Was 125 degrees?
Yeah. People are dropping like flies. I'm sure they don't have enough water when they're walking. And it's not just people from Saudi Arabia because people go to Mecca if they're Muslim.
From all over. Yeah.
All over the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said they ran out of medics and things to help these people. So I don't know. I somehow think that that it would be okay in their religion not to do it this year. that
Yeah, it's not required to do it every year. My understanding is that the hope is you can accomplish it in your lifetime. It would be good to do it every year, but I think it's a realistic attitude is that not most people can't afford it or can't do the logistics. But to come from some other environment into the middle of a desert like that and then be exerting yourself in the unshaded sun is dire.
It's very dire. I mean, it's hot enough over there now, I would think, without even having a heat wave. So just dangerous. Mary Spirit, you're having a hard time joining as a member. Is that what you're saying? I don't know why that would happen. Usually you just go there, but you have to set up a payment, I believe, at least with, remember that YouTube is Google. They own it. Google owns us. So it might be that. So.
Well, Google might own you, but Google doesn't own me.
Well,
I think I've diagnosed the problem. It's okay. Mary. Is Mary the name?
Mary Spirit. Yeah.
Mary, the first step is you have to subscribe to my channel.
Oh, that might be it.
That's it.
And of course, I want people to do that anyway. So yeah.
I know. Giving you a hard time.
No, it's not a hard time. It's perfect. So Mary Thornberry's here, and Juanita, and your first time, Julie, seeing Irish Granny? Oh God, she's wonderful. She reads books and tells us about it, and she's got a feistiness about it that I have.
No. Just don't cross me. Thanks.
CJ is here, and what is 125 degree in Celsius? Ooh, I don't know.
Isn't it like 30 different degrees is about 30, 35 degrees difference? I should know this. I'm embarrassed.
But it's like, so instead it would be like 60 is what you're saying.
Yeah, their freezing is zero.
Is zero. That's right.
Right. Is that right? And our freezing is 32 degrees.
32.
So yeah.
Okay.
But it's not an exact 32 degree difference as you move up and down the scale. It's a formula. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Hi, Amy Earth Spirits. Nice to see you, my dear. 51 degrees. Oh my God. How about this one? Hi, Sonia.
I have such a treat for you today. Speaking of some certain people, I have such a treat. Can hardly wait to read on somebody nefarious.
Yes. See, people know you. You may not have lives all the time, but people watch you and they say, you are so much fun. You two are outrageous. So we'll have some outrageous fun. So, we'll take some personal questions as we move along, but we'd like to talk a little bit about some outrageous things that we have heard within the last couple of, maybe a month or two, about SCOTUS, Supreme Court, and also I'd love to read on today's revelation that Trump at a rally said maybe we should have two migrants fight again, like a cockfight or a gladiator fight together to see who wins. I saw this afternoon and I thought, this man is so crazy, and everybody just ignores it, or they go, oh, he's just joking. We know he's not joking.
There's this is my gut feeling about this since you asked. There's a couple of layers of stuff going on here. He's allegedly a psychopath. Allegedly, part of that is malignant narcissism and sadism, that Machiavellian, sadistic, narcissistic triad. He loves it. He wishes that he could, use a weapon or he wishes he could be the person imposing the violence. Let's put it that way. So there's that. And he puts feelers out hoping that it's going to attract a certain subset of the population. And it does, right?
Yeah.
I think he's saying it for shock value to get attention. And he's trolling for votes. Oh, yeah. And he doesn't care who votes for him.
Where they're from. Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
that's very true. So Carol says she just finished listening to part 1 of your book review today. That's awesome.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which book did you do?
Paul Wallace, The Scars of Eden. Paul Wallace is a former, I guess now, pastor. He's a linguist. He's a theologian, coming from kind of a conservative Christian viewpoint. But he's an intellect. He's somebody who has an open mind, right? And as we find out, and as you will find out if you follow the books, he's an experiencer. Mm-hmm. And he broke his leg playing ultimate frisbee in his front yard, and he was sort of sequestered for months and months trying to heal, Oh, okay. It was a bad break. And while he was doing that, he had a list of inconsistencies, cognitive dissonance that he had felt, but I don't have time to look into it, in translating sacred scriptures, but especially the Old Testament. And he ended up, I'm trying to think of the easiest way to put that, coming to the conclusion that there's an intersection globally and chronologically of cultural, mythological, and religious scriptures, they all basically agree on the origin of humankind. And if you could make the skeleton of that, you would say the basic structure is that some primate was here on Earth and some sort of far advanced entity. Now, from another planet, another galaxy, another dimension, another time, and we don't have answers. But these very advanced entities came, hybridized us for whatever reason, and they may have had different reasons, and there were different groups that were not on good terms with each other, right? And for a very, very long time, the human race served its purpose, but against their choice, they hadn't planned on this. We got too smart for our own good. We became difficult to control. They backed up some of their engineering so that we were less able. We lost skills. Amongst those skills were things like telepathy and the clairvoyance and clairaudience, things like that, right? And other abilities, but especially those because they made us too able to understand their motivations and read their minds. We knew what was going on, and they didn't like that. They wanted a slave population. They got into it with each other, and off they went and left us to our own devices. They left representatives. The question remains to be answered: did some of them stay as the top of the pyramid? Did they assign that job to elite hybrids? Long story short, the elite of today are often descendants of this system that was created. And the stories of the gods and the stories of, the Garden of Eden and the flooding and all that stuff is all an integral part of this story of our manipulation by more intelligent.
And this guy was not an evangelical, but he was very conservative.
He was, I thought he was a Baptist, but somebody corrected me today. I've only read several of his books. How can I be expected to know? That I think they said he was Anglican, but he's from Australia, and he's been better received by religious people than one would expect. He admits that. He says he's actually kind of surprised at how open a lot of people have been. But he's also encountered really close friends, peers, professional acquaintances who just think he's gone off the rails. His very closest friend told him, we can still be friends, but I'm not reading your books.
I was just talking to my husband last night. We were watching Graham Hancock.
Some
things, and of course he is hated in the archaeological community, the scientific community, because they're saying he's a pseudoscientist and this and that, and that and I said, when you stick your neck out like Dr. Stephen Greer did, or he was a surgeon, everybody will immediately call you a quack, and you're automatically put down and pushed over here by these skeptical, educated few. And it's really sad because sometimes we even have a lot of proof from them. They're showing you things that will prove some of these things. And even Hancock said he has found evidence of what he has said before.
I was in science. I mean, I wasn't Einstein or Madame Curie. Let's not get out of control. But I did learn one thing. It's pseudoscience only in anything. I'm talking in general terms, not about Graham Hancock. If you don't follow scientific technique, if you don't follow the proper methodology, if there's questions about your data collection or your observations or those sorts of issues, then it's pseudoscience. You can't call it pseudoscience just because you don't agree with the conclusion.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
So Graham Hancock has evidence, he has data, and he's postulating his theory of what this means.
Yep.
And the more they investigate it, the more evidence they find to back up the legitimacy of the things that he said. He has gone all around the globe with his wife, who's an underwater photographer. He learned how to do this scuba diving. They photographed all of these underwater I don't know what to call them because I don't want to jump to conclusions. I want to say structures. Are they natural? Are they man-made? Well, that's the debate. But there are some very intriguing facts about these things all over, off the coast of Japan, off the coast of India, off the coast of South America, just on and on. And statues. You tell me how anemones and stuff, coral reefs create statues.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. So Julie says she's been listening to Billy Carson, and I love Billy Carson as well. He just actually did the Emerald Tablet book. Did you see that book before?
I don't know who Billy Carson is.
Oh, he's a UFO guy. He is. He's written a book on the Emerald Tablets, and I just absolutely know you would be intrigued by
Is this like South American indigenous stuff? No.
The Emerald Tablets are by the Egyptian god Thoth.
Oh, yeah.
So, alien life underwater is being found more and more as well as old artifacts because before the Ice Age, there were a lot of things that were visible that aren't visible now because they got covered up by water. So, of course, you're going to find things when you go down there, and they're not created by the fish in the sea.
Well, let's talk about the Nimitz incident. You're familiar with the Nimitz incident?
I had a friend that was on it. Yeah.
Did that friend see the stuff?
Or maybe it's not the Nimitz. Then there was one that went down that everybody died.
No. This is even weirder. I think this is really significant thing, and I'm shocked that it's not on headlines day and night. So I'm gonna throw out a date, probably not accurate, close enough, around 2004-ish, right?
Okay.
So the Nimitz is a big airplane carrier, for the Navy. It's one of the big things off the coast of San Diego. They were doing, I don't know, practices. I don't know what to call it, where the fighter jets take off and land, and they just do stuff, right? They do military stuff. And like the admiral or the grand admiral, whoever it is, the 4-star admiral, I don't know, a bunch of brass, big guys, and top guns, I guess you'd call them, got pilots in these fighter planes. Now we're talking about billions of dollars worth of equipment that these people are entrusted to get into and fly and bring them back in one piece, right? So they are assiduously studied for mental health and stability, and not predisposed to making stories up, not likely to take off and fly to another country, just all those things that are really important when really stable, really trustworthy. So all these people are, and I believe there's some nuclear stuff involved in this sometimes, but not always. So they're taking off and landing, and some of them are standing on the bridge of this gigantic boat looking at what's going on. Something comes out of the sky. Now, this thing is recorded on the fighter jet radar and the radar on the ship. Mm-hmm. Top technology, state of the art. So it comes down. It's a UFO. It goes into the water in front of these guys. A couple minutes later, however long, comes back out of the water and flies off. They send the jets after it. So these two pilots were interviewed on television, I want to say 60 Minutes. You've never seen a more well, yes, you have. It was more uncomfortable interview that I've ever seen, except for Prince Andrew's interview with the BBC. That was really bad. These two pilots looked like they wanted to sink through the floor. They wanted to join the UFO at the bottom of the ocean. They did not want to be talking about this. You got the impression they were ordered to talk about it. Somebody wanted this information out. And they said that they followed it. The closer they got, the more frightened they got, because it was doing maneuvers that defied physics. If there were humans in there, they would not have been able to survive the G-forces. Right. For example, they'd fly straight and then suddenly go this way, and they'd be going incredible amounts of speed that the fighter pilots could not keep up with. And they finally started to feel threatened. There was like a telepathic thing going on, and they felt threatened and scared,
Okay.
and they went back to the boat. And depositions under oath, all of them.
Yep. All of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and I've heard that there have been people that have seen UFOs diving down around the Mariana Trench, which is 7 or 8 miles underneath, down in the lower part of the earth, and that they believe there's a whole colony down there. And of course, nobody can really tell because nobody's ever going to go down all the way into the Mariana Trench. So
I don't even go in the deep end of the pool, so I'm the wrong person to ask.
Totally. Yeah, I get you totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you go. Navy pilots recall unsettling 2004 UAP sighting.
Yeah, unsettling. That's a good choice of words, I gotta say.
on 60 minutes. Okay, good. Well, that's an interesting. But there's a lot of people also right now being called to go up to Alberta, believe it or not, up to the Lake Louise area. I've talked to a lot of people, and that's the second largest UFO sighting place in North America.
When you say they're being called, can you elaborate more
I'm
on
just
that?
saying people are intuiting that that's where they really, like, all of a sudden, myself included, oh, I just feel like I need to go there.
As a tourist or to move to?
No, I don't want to move there, but
Okay.
unless Yo-Yo wins, and then I'll be happy to move there. But but it's number one, it's the absolutely gorgeous place up there, and in Banff, that area. Mm-hmm. And the waters are crystal clear. You can look down and see down. You know? But I've had 4 or 5 other people tell me that they're like, I don't know why, but I feel like I should go.
I know why. I know why exactly, because I've had this gnawing feeling for quite a long time now that the next wars are going to be wars over fresh water, and there's going to be refugee hordes, like the ones that Trump alleges. There really are going to be large movements of populations because in search of water, and it will become the most valuable resource. And Canada's got a lot of water, and Canada is going to become a much less easygoing kind of.
They'll have to be, I guess.
Yeah, they're going to stop saying, I'm sorry. And I love, I love Canada.
Yes, I love them. I love all of them. Yeah. But I get it. They have to set their boundaries, is what they're going to have to do.
To protect themselves. Yeah. They're going to be inundated, which is an interesting word when we're talking about water, but they're going to be inundated by refugees.
I believe it.
They're not real crazy about the onslaught of Americans that are already trying to get over there.
Well, I think, and I'm not sure, but I think you have to have an income to even get a job, to even be able to move over there. So you just can't go over there. I'm going to move over there.
No.
You have to prove that you have some kind of an income and you can support yourself, and that's really smart, actually. Yeah.
I've already looked into it. And so here's the deal. The income, how much money making and how much money you have, and how much earning potential you have, and therefore your age. All those things are factors. However, you can go over as an American right now without a visa. I feel like that's going to change. But you can go over across the border and you can stay. And here's where I'm uncertain if it's 90 days, 3 months, or 6 months. I can't remember. You can stay for that concentrated amount of time. You can buy a place to live. You can rent a place. No problem. But you have to leave at the end of that time. And I think you only have to leave for 48 hours. And then you can go back again. I know that's going to change. I just have a feeling it's going to change. Yeah.
Well, you never know. That's absolutely true. R.D. Lewis said, my dad was talking about water wars 40 years ago.
Your dad was prescient. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. A visionary. So do you want to read on any world thing or U.S. thing before we take personal readings?
Well, can we read on that comment that was made today by the felon in chief?
And Vicky tells me it was UFC fighters fighting against migrants. It wasn't migrant to migrant. So, but either way, it's crazy. Hi, Tea Garden Chicken. It's good to see you.
So let's ask, because I already told you what I think. Let's ask what the card. Ask the cards like what his motivation is for saying something that completely
insane.
Excrement of the flying mammal. Crazy. I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, you won't. It's fine. Yeah, Tasha, got your question. I've got about 7 questions up. And we're going to be on approximately another half hour to 45 minutes.
My God, that goes by so
more than that.
fast.
We're going to be done by before 8:30, which is an hour.
Yeah, I have to be done by then.
Yeah, we have to be done by then. So let's see what we can do in that little short time.
Okay, should I show you my cards? Just the
Yes,
the box.
Please.
So I bought this in honor of the upcoming election. It was suggested by a viewer, which her name is Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. The United States of Tarot.
Oh, I saw that on something and I thought, wow. Oh, goody.
I'm negotiating with the creator. She's going to come on my channel and talk about it. And they are, I hope so, yeah. They are, well, you'll see.
Okay. I'm excited.
Okay.
That's great.
Every time I say somebody's coming to talk, it falls through. So I just hexed it, I think. But that's the goal, and we've had preliminary discussion about it, and we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, did you pull a card?
I did pull some cards, but I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, Maya Angelou.
Mm-hmm.
The Ace of Cups reversed. This is a complete lack of empathy. A big surprise. We didn't need a card for this. Complete lack of compassion. He does not care. The notion that, oh my God, you would do that to people? Not even register. No, doesn't register on his Seven of Swords. Trying to get away with whatever he can get away with. Let me see who this is. Who? Oh. Michael Cohen. So I think so. I think I got that right. Yeah, I just criminally constantly on the make, just I feel like I don't even need to say it. I think we all get it. Sneaky Pete, right? Just no compassion and always figuring out the next criminal activity. I'll do one more. I can't read. Oh, the Three of Pentacles. This is a complete inability to function as a decent member of society. He can't work with people. He can't, this is actually Ansel Adams, which I thought was an interesting choice.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but this would be a positive card. These cards can be read either negatively or positively, depending on your, frame of mind. But it's reversed. I get that rejection of working with people. He's working against people.
Of course. And Helen and I were talking backstage, and I was telling her that he's negotiating with billionaires to get money, and they're giving him their their Christmas list, basically. So what I get is that this always has to do with money. Mm-hmm. And that he's probably maybe I can start my own wrestling or my own fighting show or business, and we can do. Oh yeah, he's got that in his mind because that's the way his mind works. The other thing I get is the moon, and when he said it, the moon was full, so he's a loon.
Yeah, it's really in keeping. Yeah.
And the next card I get is, what do you expect? He's a fool. He's just the fool. He's just always the fool. But it's always about money. But it says here, he's in the planning phase. Take a step back and plan the steps to move forward so he can get his goals into reality. And, his brain is going to jail on July 1st in Steve Bannon, because Steve is going to jail on July 1st. And so he's in the planet. Who's going to be able to take care of him? Maybe Stephen Miller. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah. Who would go right along with whatever he wants?
Well, this is at the bottom of my deck for this particular shuffle, Death. This is, just yet another negative change and everything that the KKK implies, this white Christian nationalist baloney.
Yeah.
Melissa, free range psychic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she does regressions, readings on past lives. I shouldn't say regressions, not the right word. Readings on past lives of people in the news. And so many of these characters are, if not a direct reincarnation, certainly on a parallel path. And Stephen Miller is known in progressive news circles as Santa Monica Goebbels. He's from Santa Monica, California. He's from a Jewish family. They've completely disowned him. They want nothing to do with him. He and his wife had a baby during Trump's thing.
I remember.
And shortly after the baby was born, I hope any woman who's listening, who's ever been pregnant and given birth and then had that postpartum era, the hormonal storm that comes with that, right? She got up out of a birthing bed, I'm exaggerating, and went with him to the southern border to admire their handiwork because they were the engineers of the Take the Children Away from the Parents plan.
Yes, I remember that.
Imagine having just given birth. I can remember when my first daughter was a week old, my husband had to go back to work and he worked nights and we had moved to this middle of nowhere. We're in the middle of a farmland and totally deserted. I cried all night. Why? Because I thought, oh my God, if I die, she'll be an orphan. And now I look back and I laugh and she's in her 40s, she's fine. She's perfectly fine. Well, if I didn't scar her too much. but you're just a lunatic.
The motherly thing that we go through. It can be. Yeah.
So imagine being in that condition, biochemically, neurochemically, and going to a place where they're ripping newborns out of their mother's arms and being proud of yourself.
Absolutely. Wow. That's just crazy. And I remember when that happened. And I want to tell you guys also that I had posted on Facebook something that said, it was about the former guy. And I said, everybody needs to watch the Hitler Netflix series.
Yes.
The same shit, different century. That's what I said.
I forced my husband to watch it, and he came out of the room kind of pale. And he's a real balanced guy. Yeah. Came out and he went, "Oh my God!"
He could see the similarity.
It's not the obvious things; it's all these small, subtle, societal things.
Yes, it is. It's creepy, but I think everybody needs to watch it. I think it's important. And of course, the people that really need to watch it won't watch it anyway. But do you know that Facebook put me in Facebook jail for writing that?
Why?
I don't know if it was the word, the H word. I don't know what it was. But
you're not allowed to talk about him?
I guess not. I don't know. But they said, we don't, you had a hate comment. I had a hate comment on it. And it's like, I was telling people to watch it. It was a Netflix show. It wasn't like I just said, oh, he is Hitler. I didn't say anything like that, but I did say same shit, different century. I did say.
Oh, maybe it was the S word.
Well, it could have been. Now I'm going to watch, and you know what that's like. Yeah. Yeah. No
I've been in trouble off and on, and it's usually not stuff that's coming out of my mouth is my opinion. It's usually me accidentally either referring to somebody else's words and not making it clear. Yeah. So I tap dance around everything now. Not my words, somebody else's words. I'm not saying this. This is a quote. Come on. Or the other issue is I cracked a joke, and there's no irony in the algorithms.
Right. Yes. I know there is more irony. You could say something and then say, what do you think about this? And then people go, oh.
I went, Denise, XYZ is an XYZ, making fun of people we were. So anyway.
You just can't. Well, you don't have to. Imelda, I think you're pretty stable. But France kept it under wraps that Coco Chanel had a long-term affair with an officer, but they didn't want their if I read that book by the guy that writes all the really good books. He wrote about the Lusitania, and this particular book.
Eric Larson.
Larson. Yes, I read the one about the ambassador and the daughter that were.
Yes, that's such a good book. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bet a lot of people don't know this. You know, the King of England who quit, abdicated.
Yes.
For the woman he loved. They moved to France, and the Nazis put them up in a chateau outside Paris with their own personal SS guard to protect them from the resistance.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. That's right. So Mary's been watching you for a long time.
I recognize her name. Yeah.
Yeah. And she said it's by design. It comes from the Council of National Policy, started in 1981. Helen, you talked about this a couple of years ago. So,
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I have trouble remembering the acronyms. You know, that's the CNP, and then there's the PAC and the XYZ, and I have trouble. You know, it's all a big mishmash. But
that's funny. It reminds me of Robin Williams when he said, "Well, if the VP wasn't such a VIP, then look at him on the QT." And it was during Good Morning Vietnam. I love that.
Yeah.
I was amazing.
What Archie Bunker used to call it, the UFO CIA for the labor union, you know.
Yeah. AFL-CIO. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. Well, all right. So if you think of anything else that you, as we're going along with these, we can break them up with some of that. How about that? We'll do that. We'll break up some of these questions with anything that might come up that we want to read on. So because that's the way we should do it. So
this is the angels.
The angel tarot. Okay. So Ness is constantly working with. She's a writer. She works with a writing project and taking a break right now. Ness, I am going to. Well, I guess I could look at this. This wasn't what you asked this morning. I had a members meeting this morning, but that's where it was.
I admire people who write and manage to finish a project. Writing requires such intense personal discipline.
Yeah.
If you have not, I'm sure you've read this book already, but if you haven't, Stephen King wrote a book about being a writer.
On writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good.
I admire your self-discipline and determination. It takes courage to do that. Yeah.
You're going to have to let Helen read your book and talk about it when you get it done. How about that?
Yeah.
One of our own.
Oh, can I show her the card I got?
Of course you can.
It's going to be successful. The 9 of Pentacles. And that's you right there. So keep at it. Keep doing the hard work. Look at this.
Yeah.
Strength. Wow. These are great cards. I wish these were my cards. These are great cards. Strength. Yeah. So, you know, dive in deep to the strength that you have inside, because you have the ability to be determined over a long period of time. And that's what it takes. It takes determination and stick-to-itiveness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. What I got here for your life after the project is done is you're going to be in the grove of unity. I love that. It says blind energies in the unified sanctuary of the grove, fostering interconnected harmony. So there's going to be very harmonious for you. And then I get the magic lamp. What could be better than the magic lamp?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You've got that. You've got the magic to do the job. And so I think it's going to bring you more jobs.
I was just going to say it's going to open doors. Yeah.
It's going to open the doors up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You're a
Keep at it, Ness.
All right. Very nice. All right. Let's see. Finish a project. Is that a real thing? Do people really do that? Sometimes tea garden chicken. Oh, hi, Carolyn. It's good to see you. All right. And a lot of other. Sherry's here. Sherry's Voices from the Swamp. It's nice to see you too. Yeah.
Sherry and I have a date. We have a hot date.
Do you have a hot date tonight? Tonight? Is that why you got to go? Okay.
Right. I confess. Sorry, Sherry. I spilled it. Was that Carolyn Booker?
It was Carolyn Booker.
Karen, hi! I'm so glad to hear from you. Yeah.
Peter is going in on Monday for a surgery. He has a hernia, and so we're sending.
Oh, Peter, I'll tell you a little secret. I had a hernia repair. It's great drugs. Great drugs. It's not the anticipation is always the worst part for those sorts of things,
That's very, very true.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
A reading. Yeah. Okay. Tiffany.
Oh, hello. And Marina's here. Hi, Marina.
Oh, it's a party.
Okay, Tasha, I tried it earlier, Tasha. I think I got your name. Let's see.
I'm seeing Tiffany Tisdale. She'd like a reading, so I'm stirring some cards up here for her.
Okay, that's fine. Tiffany.
Yeah.
What was the magic lamp card? The magic lamp means you have the ability, Ness. When this happens, you're going to have the ability to, I don't know, write your own ticket. You're going to be able to rub people the right way. And you've got the magic in you. So that's what it is, Ness. Yeah. All right. So I got to make sure I put my cards back in the right pot. Go ahead.
So, Tiffany, for you, I got a bit of a warning. So it seems like you have some sort of a choice coming up and you're sort of stuck in your decision making. And I get the Knight of Swords reversed. I get the sense that maybe you need to be really careful about what you believe, about the information that you're getting. Swords are about intelligence. Intelligence, that word can mean smarts, but it can also mean information. Be careful about the information that you're receiving before you make your choice. Make sure you have all of the knowledge that you need to know to make an informed choice. And I got the Ace of Cups reversed, which is to me a warning, again, to not let your feelings about people color your rational decision making. Six of Pentacles. Make sure that you're being treated equitably. So this is a big decision, and you need to go into it prepared with as much reliable information as you can. Try not to be affected by your emotional connections to the decision. Try to be really rational, and make sure that you're being given a fair deal. I hope that's what makes some sense to you.
Wow. Fabulous. Ness, thank you for giving Suzanne, I did. Thank you for giving a gift membership out. That's very nice of you. Thank you. All right, Tiffany. That's very interesting. That was an awesome reading.
I don't know. It's just the cards, I know
that because
I know.
I totally know. Yeah. I am going to. I'm trying to do the chat and talk. So here we go.
See. I'm telling you, it's hard to do. Yeah.
Oh, it is hard. You have to really think. You have to split your brain in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm getting that you're going to get some kind of a communication, whether it's a phone call, whether it is a conversation that is going to bring you some news that may move you in your lifetime. And it has to do with some work you've been doing. I think they say you've been a very busy bee. You've been working hard and trying to make things work for you. And they're saying your strength and personal power have really escalated in the last maybe 6-7 months. I don't know. And that you come across with great strength and courage. So I think it's a good reading. I really do. But I also like what Helen said and the fact that you may have to think about something.
Well, they're not mutually exclusive because learning to be discerning is a strength.
It's a strength.
Skill, yeah. And a phone call is information,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They're not the same. Exactly the same. So Carolyn, poor Carolyn, she said her sister, this is what it's like to have a family that's split politically. Her sister bought red, white, and blue shoes with 45 on the front of them.
I hope she has a different shoe size than you do, Carolyn, and you don't have to borrow them.
No, but she would like matches, please. And she says she would.
Well, let's look at our USA cards and just pull a card or two about this.
Okay, we could do that.
Carolyn, I'm so sorry.
I know. We all have one or two in our family, I think, somewhere. It's nice that his fellow Masonic brothers are coming to take him to the hospital and bring him home, and that's what the things that they do. They are just the kindest people, honestly.
At the beginning of our unfortunate medical experience of the past few years, whose name I dare not say out loud, we were very concerned because of my husband's heart, right? I had, who your friends are. I had a friend who did all of our grocery shopping for us. And she volunteered. Yeah. I will never forget that act of kindness. She had to go anyway. She was on it. She had to go out to work and she had to go to the store anyway. So she was acting like that's no big deal. She saved our lives.
Yeah. Imelda, I wouldn't let my dog chew on him either.
Now, wait a second, Carolyn. We're going to see what the United States of Tarot.
Your older brother and best friend are Trump supporters? Oh, Liz, I'm sorry. Oh.
Forward into the light. Now, I wrote these things down because I did not know who this young woman was. This was a banner that was carried by the suffragettes. This is Inez, or Inez, depending on what part of the country you come from. Inez Bosevian, who was a lawyer, a peace activist, a young woman at the turn of the century during the beginning of the suffragette stuff, World War. Isn't this interesting? This is for Carolyn, who's a descendant of what you call it, Mott. Lucretia Mott. Mott. Yeah, isn't that interesting? This is, your relatives are keeping an eye on you, Carolyn. But she was a peace activist and a lawyer, and she died very, very young from an autoimmune disorder that attacks the cells, I like medicine, attacks the cells in your stomach that create the intrinsic factor that you need to absorb vitamin B12. She died of a thing called pernicious anemia, and it has to do with the lining of your stomach not working the way it's supposed to. But her name is Inez Bosevian, and Inez is Spanish for Agnes, and Agnes is Latin for lamb.
A lamb to the slaughter.
Well, Lamb of God.
Yeah, Lamb of God. True that. Yep.
So, Caroline, this is you. You have incredible amounts of strength, and you've got a history of women right behind you, right behind your shoulder, just urging you forward. Yeah. So forget the shoes. Walk on those shoes and nobody cares.
It just shows us, though, that, every family has dissenters in some way, one way or the other, if you know what I mean. But I got the vortex of change for this situation. Engage with the vortex of change where energies swirl in transformative dances, molding anew. That's a very, very interesting card. So she's very much going to be swirling in a vortex of change when things don't really work out the way she might want them to.
Little symbolism there, vortex of dancing shoes,
yes, right. That's right. She said Lucretia would be proud.
Yeah. What's her name, Mott? I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. So a message from Mom Margaret. We can see if we can do this for you, Liz.
Yes.
Bring out my wonderful beloved dead cards. These are great.
Oh no, I haven't seen those. Oh.
They have tarot too. They have this is an oracle.
Yeah. You always have such wonderful cards.
Oh, I spent way too much money on them. All right.
Okay, Liz, I get that you're kind of stuck. The hanged man, which, I'm assuming they also mean hanged man or woman. That you're kind of stuck in some situation, and your mother is like the Queen of Swords for you. She was a beacon of truth, a beacon of light, a beacon of justice, a beacon of kind of intelligent example. Well, this woman is sitting looking at that stupid light, looking at a book.
Uh-huh.
Maybe if I turn this off. So the message from your mother is, I would believe, is to stand up for the truth. Keep informed. You know, keep up with what's going on. Don't give in to the temptation to bury your head in the sand. A lot of people are doing that. Don't do that. Your mother wants you to be in the forefront of truth and stand up for justice, support people. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Oh,
That's wonderful.
At the bottom of the deck, 6 of Swords. It'll get better.
Moving into new waters.
Yeah, it'll get better.
Yeah. Okay. So I get, if you're holding any kind of, it says forgiveness and faith. It's an act of love. If you're holding anything that you feel, oh, I could have done this better, shoulda, woulda, coulda, let it go. Mom says, when you're on this side, everything is you know everything. You know what people think. You know why they did what they did. And so if you have any feelings of regret or anything, please let them go, because you don't need to carry them with you. She's also said, this is kind of goes along with yours. Self-care. All of us need this. All of us need self-care right now. So self-care is what she's asking you to do. And she said, don't wait in expectation, because it never works out exactly the way we expect it to, but believe that this or something better will manifest.
Well, that's the Hanged Man,
Yes.
Set that aside. Yeah.
Set it aside. Yes, absolutely.
Those are beautiful cards.
Aren't they? They're very interesting because they're all, old-fashioned.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, I've got I'm going to tell you who we're going to read, so you know, and we're not going to take any more, just because we need to get these done. So I got Nancy, 3 Shifting Veils, Tasha, Suzanne, Diamond, and no, I got Carolyn already. All right. So that's it. So we got that. So let's see. Make sure I get the right one. We get Nancy. She wonders if she's ever going to get her Social Security funds back. Good for you. Christina, if we have time, we'll answer that question, because it's kind of a good question to ask as a... All right, Social Security funds. So... Did they took them away from you? Is that what happened? I don't like the way that whole system works, because when my mother died, she used to get her Social Security check at the beginning of the month. She died on the end of the month, the last day of the month, and they took the whole month away from her. She didn't care. She was dead, but it was really bizarre as far as I was concerned. Yeah.
This whole thing is a touchy subject for me, because I just turned 70. And applied for Social Security. I waited till the bitter end to get the most of possible.
Yeah.
And I won't go into the details, but now I know why people are living in their cars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get it.
Nancy, the 2 of Cups. So I get the feeling that, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb, because, that perhaps there's some debate about Social Security money coming from a spouse. Will you qualify, or did you get too much and they took some back? I mean, there's some uncertainty about a relationship with a person having to do with your Social Security. And Knight of Wands reversed, you're going to get your answer, but it's going to take its time. And then I got the Chariot reversed. This is going to take a while, and the advice is to be patient, because your ultimate card is the 10 of Cups, and that's, look at the Holy Ghost coming down there. That's good news. It means that you're going to be okay, and you'll get everything, 10 of Cups, everything that you need to get, but it's going to require patience and dealing with the bureaucracy. And 7 of Wands, you're probably going to have to be defending your position more. I'm so sorry, because I get that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach every time I have to deal with any kind of bureaucracy. So
yeah, I do too.
It's terrible. Yeah.
I'm sorry. And Kay was another person here. Kay said that she's 63 and she's thinking about waiting to 70. Here's what I did, guys. And this is interesting. 66 and 2 months. I started taking my Social Security because my mother lost her. She got nothing. And I said, I don't care if I'm still working. I'm going to get my Social Security so that I've paid into it. I'm totally ready. So I got a certain amount of money, and then we got a little bit of a raise. And it isn't very much money. I can't live on that, even with my husband's Social Security. But anyway, I kept working, and my Social Security went up because I made more money the next year, and they adjusted my Social Security because they go with, what is it, the 4 top years or something like that. They calculate what were your 4 highest incomes, and that's how they figure it out. But I was never going to wait till 70 for me, because I knew I may not make it to 70, and I wasn't going to.
Well, I'm just such an optimist, you know.
You're an optimist. That's awesome.
No, you know what it was? I dragged my feet because I didn't want to deal. I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I know.
And until fairly recently, my husband was working, but now, you know, it's a different situation. And boy, I'll tell you, it's kind of scary. Yeah,
it is scary. It is. So I get you would like to right a wrong. That's the V is for vendetta. And so here you're upset about it, and I don't blame you. You want that thing to be taken care of, and that you've shed a lot of tears over this. And I would imagine I understand that completely, because this would be awful. Now, this is the craziest card in my deck, but it's the most fun, and it says it's the disco ball. And I'm guessing that fun times are ahead.
Celebration.
Yes, you're going to have a celebration. So
that's that 10 of Cups. It's going to be okay, but getting there, getting to that point is not fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
It isn't. Yep. So we have 3 shifting veils. This is just a comment. I'm sorry. I thought it was a question. Fade to Black with Jimmy Church. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't have my finger on the pulse of anything, apparently. Is this YouTube or my own pulse, maybe? YouTube, Jimmy Church.
If you're still here, can you let us know? Can you let us know 3 shifting veils? Yeah.
Well, I can Google it, and it'll just tell me.
Sure. Okay.
Thank God for Google, because, you know, I'm missing a few loads in my brain.
Yeah. Linda Bishop, you have a disco ball? I'm on my way. Have you got a lighted dance floor as well? That's the fun stuff.
Will I find a lawyer this week? Do your guys recommend a lawyer? I would like to
have the situation taken care of by.
I'm not good with the abbreviations because I don't do social media. You understand what they're saying? I would like.
Yeah, I can read it. It says, "Do your guides recommend it? I would like to have the situation taken care of before the hearing date." So, will she get a lawyer? Yeah.
I would imagine you have to be allowed to have a lawyer before the hearing date.
Maybe it's finding somebody that can meet. You know, I have to tell you this, Tasha, and I don't know if you're in the United States or in Canada or another place, but there's even lawyers that hang out at the courthouse. My husband he had not a speeding ticket, but he was in a funeral. They put him, he went through the light because he was supposed to, because he was a pallbearer, and a cop pulled him over. And so he went to the courthouse. This was back in Massachusetts. He went to the courthouse in a suit, and 4 people asked him if he was a lawyer. He could have been really making some money.
Oh God, the stories! I'll tell you. Oh well, I'm gonna just go ahead. Can I go ahead? 6 of Wands. Yes, you're gonna find a lawyer. Yes, this is the victory. This is an affirmative reassurance. Oh, you're gonna love your lawyer. Lovers. You're going to find somebody who's going to be cooperative, and you see the guidance, the sense of legal protection and emotional guidance as well. I'll do one more card. And don't be shook by this card. The 3 of Swords is often interpreted in a negative way. It's that heart with the 3 swords in it, but it's a symbol of healing. That'll be the beginning of the path to healing for you from whatever this legal situation is. So good luck. Good luck.
Good luck is right. You got the angels on your side. You're divinely protected. So that's a good thing. I know you're feeling trapped by this whole This whole, yep, that's exactly what that was. You're feeling trapped by it. And, but you're going to be able to call out the injustice. It's a double sword, but I love it. And there's the swords again. There'll be a breakthrough. So I get that. Must mean that you're going to get somebody to help you.
And look what's at the bottom of the deck here, the Three of Cups, ultimately.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it'll be okay. Yeah.
Imelda, I just want to say that I also had teachers retirement with the state of Massachusetts and Social Security. And I pulled that out to open my husband's practice when we moved to Seattle. And so what they did was they adjusted my Social Security with those monies when they did it. And actually, I was paying more into Social Security after like 2010 or something, and it ended up being okay. But I also teach at 4 different colleges. I have way too much work. So that might be why. That's why Joe Biden, that plan, if you were a public servant or whatever it was, that helped me out with my student loans. So thank you so much. All right.
It's a racket.
It is a racket. It's a racket.
Daughter bought an apartment before winter. I hope she's not sleeping in her
thanks for being here with us. And if you're getting a lot of love here from Helen, and she will be on with Sherry, I think, starting at 9:00 this evening.
Sherry does this show. It's late at her house. It's 11:00 at her house. It's not that late here. And I guess she does all sorts of things like, paranormal and UFOs and stuff. Yeah. Tonight, I'm not entirely positive. I think we're going to talk about, well, I'll let her tell about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, Linda Bishop. That must be a cool lamp. Okay. Suzanne, I have, first of all, yes, look at this, a DNA. So yes, this is definitely for your daughter, because it's not your question, it's your daughter's question, but you're connected with DNA. So that's why that came up. And I think that she's going to be able to hammer out what she needs. It's going to maybe take some hard work, but that those things will work out for her. And she just needs to cut away anything that is distracting her or any problems. But, you want her to take her time doing it, because she doesn't want to end up in an area where there's any problems or anything. We want her to be in a safe place. So she just needs to cut the distractions out. And and the other thing it says, though, is hidden enemies. So be aware of people who seem to be a friend but aren't. She needs to do that.
That's interesting. I got something sort of similar. Okay. The Queen of Pentacles reversed. So she's really been struggling to find some, get her feet on the ground security, and money's been an issue. So sort of a statement on the situation as it stands. But here's that beware. She needs to be cautious about who she's dealing with in the hunt for a place to live. Just be cautious of ulterior motives people might have. Maybe they're lying to her about the environment or the quality of the place or the cost or hidden cost, whatever that might be. But here's the thing. She needs the Ace of Wands. She needs to really advocate for herself, really take control of the situation. She's going to have to do the hard work. Get all that stuff in a row. Get the paperwork done. Follow the necessary steps. This is not going to fall in her lap. She's going to have to work for it. But I do think she's going to find some sort of a living situation, a landlord of some sort, who actually will be sympathetic to her and compassionate to her and will treat her properly. But she's got to do the hard work. And she needs to perhaps then take a step back and just evaluate all the aspects of her life. Try to decide what serves her, what hasn't been serving her. Get that little bit of security under her feet, and then take a deep breath and kind of reevaluate the direction she's going.
And that's what with I had the hammer. It was like she has to hammer it out. She has to do it. Yeah. It's so cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. All right. So we got Diamond. I would love to get into something fulfilling in the next few months. What do you see?
We're talking a job, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe some kind of a
Really nice
job,
bubble bath, or
or maybe a new creative pursuit, something that fulfills you. Okay. All right. Christina, I think we'll have time to answer your question this evening, so hang on if you're still here, because it is a really good question for the for everybody to ask, to listen to. So, and then we'll do a card for the collective. All right.
Shall I go?
Go right ahead.
Okay, I got that you're a strong person, that, or the cards recommend that you be strong, but strength is involved in the situation completely. Don't be looking back. Don't be spending a lot of time in sort of toxic nostalgia is the term that comes to mind. You're struggling. You're carrying a lot of burdens right now. And there is going to be a new opportunity, something that, may be unexpected for you, something you will, I never thought this might be what I might be interested in. And one of the little bits of advice is the Four of Pentacles reversed. You want to be, okay, how do I say this? You want to be smart about the choice you make, the decision you make, the direction you're going to go in. But don't let salary and security and that kind of thing be your first consideration. You need fulfillment. Then you have to put your emotional needs first, something that you might not have thought of, rather than be led by a desire for a big wage or those are all good things. Don't get me wrong, but take into consideration, to be fulfilled, you have to seek out something that is fulfilling and not just a paycheck.
Yeah. She says it's more creative, but that makes sense too. That, like, for instance, you and I both don't do shows to make money for.
I may not have a whole lot of choice pretty soon if if something happens in November. I don't want to talk about it.
I get it.
I do have dogs that we could eat.
But that's not our main motivation, I guess is the best way to say it. So yeah.
My parents gave me some really good advice that I didn't take when I was really young. I really wanted to be a literature teacher like you are. I really wanted to be, and I loved it, right? And I did science, left school, didn't know what I was going to do with myself, and decided California had a wonderful junior college system, and it was free. So I started taking all the humanities classes that I was never able to take because I was a science major, and lab classes eat up all your time. And a literature professor took me aside and said, you need to do this. You need to pursue this. Well, I went home and told my parents, and they were like, oh no, you have to go to nursing school. You have to have something you can fall back on after you get married. Now, mind you, I wasn't dating. But I'm old. It was a long time ago. And I took their advice about being practical. And I would say that's probably my one true regret in life, that I followed that. But it all comes around, full circle, because here we are. And what am I doing? Books.
Yeah. You got your chance to do what you wanted to do finally.
Yeah.
But that was the way it was when we were growing up. My father would say the same thing. He'd say, you need a vocation, not an avocation. And that's exactly what your mother said, because I wanted to be a karate teacher. He didn't see that would be very good.
Seriously.
I've wanted to be all kinds of things, including an actress, a singer, whatever But at that time, I wanted to be a karate teacher. And he's like, well, that's good, but that doesn't pay the bills, basically. So,
I guess, yeah.
So I'm sorry that I knocked off your question here, but I have you want convenience. So the burger comes up. That's wanting convenience and feeling unsatisfied. So
fast food.
That's fast food. That's correct. So Diamond, that would be something that you want to be able to start it, enjoy it, and go with it and make it. I'm seeing that either you'll find something online to do, or you may be directed from something you saw online that you're thinking about. So that's what I'm getting there. And it says you're ready to communicate with whatever it is you're going to do, so that it will be very good for you. If that's what you're interested in, you need to express yourself. And so if that's, watercolors, or if that's book reviews, or whatever, there are actually jobs for book reviews where people can read books and they get paid. It's not very much.
You know what I got? Podcast.
A podcast. Oh, sure. That would fit into that realm. So think about that. That might be something good for you, Diamond. Yeah. Thank you. You can pull out your other cards now, your USA of Tarot. Because Christina wonders about Dr. Jill Biden. She said everyone's worried about Joe, but she's worried about Dr. Jill and wonders what we think. Do what you love. That's right. Oh, yeah. Happiness is better. That's absolutely true, honey. All right. Let's Jill. Ooh. I'm seeing, Christina, that the star came out, and she's going to get more recognition in this term. I have a feeling he's going to put her in something that gives us hope for the future. He might make her an ambassador or the leader of some project that he's doing, or working with Kamala. I'm not sure, but the star is a very strong card. The Page of Wands comes in, and it says that she may pull in a new type of skill. She may have a new type of skill that comes up that she can use, but she's already a brilliant lady. So maybe she'll communicate more. I don't know, but perfect. Justice will be served for Jill Biden. She has been a fabulous mother to Hunter. She has gone with him into that courtroom. She flew back home from overseas just to go into the courtroom with him. And she really wants to seek balance between fairness in our political and our justice system. So maybe she's going to do something. I'm not worried about her as much as I am just concerned that she has a heavy heart with what she's dealing with right now with Hunter, and because her family, everything to her. Yeah.
So that's what this card is here, the Two of Swords reversed. She's very in the front of her mind is her worry about this court decision and what his future is going to look like. And she's really worried. Ace of Pentacles reversed. She's not thrilled with this whole notion of another term and an election, and
not
really unhappy about it. She's unhappy about negative changes. That's all I'll say. She's worried about that. She's worried about these characters.
Oh, yeah. Putin and Trump.
Yeah, she's really worried about what they're going to do. She is a person of enormous compassion and empathy.
Yes,
and Aley, look what I got. The star.
Oh, you did.
Mm-hmm. Like you did.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. She is a beautiful woman, and and
at the bottom of the deck,
the sun. Things are going to be okay. Okay.
She's super strong. She's emotionally intelligent. She's brilliant, and she has a spine of ramrod steel. Yeah. They have a real love story. They really love each other. And it's so refreshing to see, given what we usually see, in that situation. No comment. Yeah. But she's been challenged. Her well of compassion, and her ability to care for people have really been challenged.
It sure
And
has.
she's so worried about all this stuff.
So she is what I do. She's an English professor at the community college level. I think she was teaching one class, I know, when he first took office.
Yeah.
She's one of those people that just doesn't give up. She spreads herself where they need to be. So I can understand why you would worry about her, because she's got an awful lot on her plate. But I believe that she's got, and as Helen said, she doesn't like this, she doesn't like that, but she hasn't stepped back. She's stepped forward. So I think she's, yeah.
She's resilient, and don't let her appearance fool you. She looks frail. She looks delicate.
Yeah.
She looks maybe, blonde. You know what I mean? Don't let that
Yes.
fool you.
Yeah.
She stepped into a situation with a man who'd been married before, lost his wife and child tragically, had 2 children who were severely injured and really, really emotionally fragile, PTSD, and with grace and love, and she's a really strong person. So
She is a strong person. Yeah. I'm just sharing this. Lisa said her Gen Z son said his generation will not fall for working for companies that demand loyalty in order to. Thank you. Gen Z is going to save us at some point. They just, I know there are things that are good and bad in every generation.
No, I think they're great, but I think that I say the same thing, so don't get me wrong. I do think that our hope is in the younger generation, but it's not over till it's over. It's gonna, you know what I mean? They're not going to be the end result, and it's going to be perfect. But there's certainly a step up in the hierarchy of awfulness. Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. If anything happens to her, Joe will not make it. I kind of agree with that.
I agree with that too.
I agree with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
So,
give anybody any ideas.
No, please. Let's just do a reading, what I call the reading for the collective, which is some energies for them as we leave the show.
Okay.
And thank you to everybody who's been here and asked questions, and it's been wonderful.
So much
hanging
fun.
out with you. I know, it's been wonderful hanging out with you.
Well, I just want to thank everybody, because it's an honor to be asked to read cards on people. You make yourself vulnerable. It's hard to ask, and then you put a lot of trust in us. We fools here. I really, I'm always astounded that people do that, and I'm very grateful for it. It's a responsibility, and I take it seriously.
It is.
So, yeah.
Is. You're absolutely right. Yep, you're absolutely right. All right, put that here. Cards for everybody. I'm using my Dream Gate Oracle guidebook, and it doesn't have to be just for dreams, but we need to dream big, and we need to know that we, as a collective in this community, just here for each other. And I thank you for all of that.
I'm just going to stick with the advice of the angels, because why not, right?
Why not? Yeah. Is that Nath's? Is that his?
No, his is the saints.
Oh, the saints.
The mystic. Oh! I need to say this. Can I say this very quickly? Nate created this wonderful deck of cards, and I think if anybody watches my channel, or watches Nate on other people's channels, they're aware of the fact he created this beautiful set of cards called the Mystical Tarot of the Saints, and there's a fabulous book that goes along with it, and he has been nominated by this tarot company association for an international award, that one of the 10 best new tarot decks and books of the year. And there's voting going on right now. He's been nominated in 3 different categories. It's on my, I can't even talk. It's on my community feed. Okay. So look on my channel, on that little banner with my face and Irish Granny Tarot. It says community. Hit community and scroll up just a little bit. I think I put it there yesterday. And it's about voting for Nate. There's a link. Go to the link, scroll down, and just look for Mystical Tarot of the Saints, and you will have done your job if you vote 3 times, 3 different categories. I cannot be expected to remember what the categories are.
That's all right.
Nate is a beautiful person, and this is a beautiful deck, and I just really hope for him that he,
Yeah, that's wonderful to know. Thank you, Helen.
I'm sorry I didn't say it sooner.
Irish Granny Tarot, if you're not signed up, you're missing out. So please go over and like and subscribe to that channel. So here's my message to the collective. It's you're being told to dive in, to be spontaneous, adventurous, and take intuitive jumps. And it is the summer. It's time for us to make hay while the sun shines. I just want to say, here in beautiful Washington State, it's what I live for, because I don't, from November to like March, it's raining or it's just dismal. And the summer is worth every single moment that I have sat with rain in my world. So it's spontaneous. It's adventurous. The next one I get is a quest. You may be going through some deep shifts. You may be carving out change in your life. Spend some time on your inner journey, because your inner journey is where you're going to find your well of hope and knowledge. The last part I get is the earth walk that we're all on. And it says we might have to reorient and also use collective wisdom or natural healing in order to get us through. We are all going through difficult times. A lot of us are really tired and fatigued. Some of that has to do with what's around us in our world, but some of it also is because of sunstorms and other things. So make sure you take time to take care of yourself.
Yeah. So I got something very similar, starting from what you just said, the 5 of Cups reversed. Do not let that weigh you down too heavily. Do not let the misinformation and the negative propaganda stuff get to you too much. Keep your eye on the compassion for other people. I don't know how to put this. Well, evaluate, 5 of Swords, evaluate what you hear. Don't believe everything you hear, and keep your eyes on your compassion for other people. And this is, an abundance of compassion. But ultimately, this is what matters. The 6 of Pentacles. And I believe this card says, do unto others. So when the message here is that when you get overburdened and it just all feels entirely too much, step back and take a moment and reevaluate. Look for the compassion. There's more than enough to go around if you can find it. Do unto others. Make that your focus rather than focus on the big picture, overwhelming stuff. Bring it in. Think of the small things that you can do for people and help the people around you.
Wow. How beautiful is that? That's wonderful. And just by being out there, you're shining your light in your community. And sometimes just a smile can make a difference in anybody's day. So everybody have a beautiful evening. More of Helen and Sherry on her Slumber Party show on Sherry's channel. Swamp. Right now, thank you, Helen. And thank you to everybody, including my wonderful subscribers, members, and moderators. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Aley, and thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.